So obviously, we are doing a collab with Everything Star Wars, and today we will be doing this will basically be part 2 of it. It's going to be the originals on our channel. If you haven't checked out the prequels one on his channel, go check that out. I'll link it in the description after the video. And yeah, so this will be our opinion on the original trilogy. So if you do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and obviously go and subscribe to Everything Star Wars. That will help us out a lot, and I help him out a lot. So yeah, let's get into the video. So obviously, if you haven't seen the prequel video, go check out. But if you haven't, then we're going to be ranking it in order of in different categories. It's going to be characters, plot, visuals, dialogue, choreography, and then we'll rank it overall. After this, we'll do Everything Star Wars' obviously opinion on it. Then we'll do Thomas's opinion at the end, and then we'll obviously do overall. So let's get into it. So the original trilogy is my favourite trilogy, and the characters in it, I loved every single character in the original trilogy. I thought they were all amazing. Obviously Leia is my favourite character overall. Luke obviously has a lot of, obviously is the son, well, Leia and Luke are the offsprings of Anakin Skywalker, the main character of Star Wars basically. Obviously Luke and Leia, obviously Han was an amazing character, so I'll rate 10 out of 10 for characters. Most of it will probably be a 10 out of 10 from me. But yeah, I thought characters were amazing. The plot of, well, if we go for the plot overall of the originals, obviously it was the redemption of obviously Anakin Skywalker mainly, but it wasn't just the redemption. That was kind of the redemption of the 2 trilogies. But I would say the plot for most of the films, episode they were basically just trying to destroy what the Empire build. It builds up to that, and I thought that was amazing. Like obviously the Death Star. But episode 5 was mainly Luke and Vader's. Obviously the plot of that was finding out obviously the truth of whose Luke's father was, and I thought the plot was amazing. So that's obviously a 10 out of 10 again. The visuals of the original trilogy, obviously the time. Obviously they couldn't do much about the visuals of the originals. Obviously the time they filmed in 1977, 1980 and 1983, they couldn't really do anything. That wasn't their fault, but I would say the visuals for that time, I'd give it an 8, because I still believe that, in my opinion, I believe the visuals for that time was amazing. So yeah, I'll rate that an 8 out of 10. Now dialogue, I thought the dialogue in the original trilogy was obviously probably the best dialogue. I'd say it's a lot better than the prequels, and obviously the sequel trilogy. I believe that dialogue in that, it had so much meaning behind the dialogue in the original trilogy. I'm not saying the other trilogy's dialogue doesn't have meaning, but I feel like the dialogue in the original has the most meaning, and I feel like dialogue makes the story better in the original trilogy. It just shows a lot in the characters and what they believe, and yeah, I rate the dialogue a 9 out of 10 as well, because I believe dialogue is amazing. Now on to the last one, choreography. Now the choreography in the original trilogy, obviously there was some lightsaber battles in it that were okay, and there was some that were amazing. Obviously Luke and Vader's probably my favourite in episode 6, probably my favourite duel of all time. Obviously just probably before Anakin and Obi-Wan. But yeah, choreography in the original trilogy obviously could be better, but obviously like, this is the same as the visuals. It was for the time. So for the time, I give it a 9 out of 10 compared to the lightsaber visuals in prequels, which I gave a 10 out of 10. I'm pretty sure. Choreography in this is a 9 out of 10, because I still strongly believe that the choreography was amazing, and it showed a lot in obviously like the characters and their fighting style and stuff like that. So I'll rate the original trilogy a 10 out of 10. Probably, yeah, 10 out of 10. I was gonna say 12 out of 10, but you know, well, a million out of 10 like Thomas did in one of the other videos. But no, I'll give it a 10. I'll keep it in out of the 10, like the scale. But yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because I love the original trilogy. It's my favourite trilogy. Yeah.
So first off, I would give characters in the original trilogy a 10 out of 10 because of mainly how iconic they are. I mean, Vader, Luke, Han, Chewie, I mean, they are all the people that made me fall in love with Star Wars in the first place. Also, Luke Skywalker was like a stronghold for me, in the way that anything I had to deal with, I would always try and think like him. The plot I would rate a 9 out of 10. Obviously, it was just basically following Luke's journey to become a Jedi and redeem his father. Each episode we met amazing new characters that fitted in with the plot, and they all went on different missions per episode, which all linked to the destruction of the dark side in the galaxy. But I really loved it. Like, I loved the pacing of it, with the, like, when you meet Darth Vader in episode 4, and then to the jump of how conflicted he is in episode 6. I think it was done perfectly. Now, for the visuals, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Now, obviously this trilogy is going to have the worst technology-based scenes because of the release date. However, the visuals are still amazing. Like, I specifically remember being blown away as a child by Cloud City and the Cloud City scenes, and basically just the beauty of, well, Star Wars, because that's the first time I ever saw it, and the original trilogy introduced me to that beauty. I would give the dialogue a 9 out of 10. Personally, I really love the dialogue in this trilogy. I mean, we had the iconic quote of Darth Vader revealing he is Luke's father. We had all of the main Star Wars quotes, apart from the meme quotes, obviously. But used the Force, Luke, obviously, original trilogy. And it helped make a personal connection to the characters, in my opinion. I think it was done really well. So finally, I would rate the choreography a 9 out of 10 as well. So in comparison to the prequels, the choreography wasn't great. However, the fact this is the first time anybody saw a lightsaber battle, it was amazing. Like Obi-Wan versus Vader on the Death Star, every time we saw Luke and Vader go against each other, it was amazing to watch. And it gave me such a great deal of happiness as a child. Personally, I would give the original trilogy a 9 out of 10. I loved the plot and the pacing of it, and obviously it was the first time I ever saw Star Wars, and it's what made me fall in love with it, and to the extreme amount that I do today.
Like the prequels, I'm going to give the originals 10 out of 10 for characters because they're not really anyone to critique. The only person I could think of off the top of my head is Leia, because she didn't really get much development, but then at the same time there wasn't really much to develop because she was a great character to start off with. For the plot, I would give it the biggest number ever out of 10. But you know, there isn't a biggest number, so I'll just settle with like 2 quadrillion or something. But that's mainly because it inspired so many people when it first came out, and it just amazed people. I can't even imagine how it felt to go to see a movie in 1977 called Star Wars A New Hope, not having a clue what it's going to be about, and then getting introduced to this huge galaxy full of anything. And I'm just confused on how George Lucas thought of a story that good. Because if you asked me to design a storyline for a movie, I would never think of anything that even compares to Star Wars, especially the original trilogy. Now the visuals I'm going to give an 8 out of 10, and you're probably wondering why is it so high? And that's because I'm taking into account when it came out. Like, they were released in 1977, 1980, 1983, and you know, technology wasn't very advanced, and I think they did extremely well for when it came out. But you know, it doesn't really compare to the others, so I can't give it a 10. But it's still amazing for the time that it was released. Dialogue I'm going to give a 9 out of 10 because there were some bits that were a bit, like mainly Han Solo to be honest. But the other bits, there were so many iconic lines that just get remembered, like I am your father, and I found out this was a popular one not too long ago, when old Ben said as a ghost what I said was true from a certain point of view. But the dialogue was just amazing. One of my personal favourites is when Luke says, I'm a Jedi like my father before me, because it's just amazing. I can't explain why. It's also the actors, like, they portrayed their characters so well, I just found it brilliant. The choreography also gets a 9 out of 10 because it was just amazing. Like, the lightsaber fights were beyond their time. I'd say A New Hope, Obi-Wan vs Vader wasn't as good as the other ones, but Luke vs Vader in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi I was just looking at my screen in awe whilst watching every single time. It gives me shivers every time I watch it, and it's brilliant.
So if you guys did enjoy this video today, us rating the original trilogy, please like and subscribe, and also go check out the Everything Stars we need to collab with tomorrow. The sequel trilogy are out on both of our channels. And yeah, so go check him out, subscribe to us and him, and if you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and have a good day. May the Force be with you, always.